Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of The Nature of Things. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars, The Nature of Things Star Wars style, the Star Wars edition. This is part one because what we're going to be discussing is not only the story, what makes up the story of Star Wars, but we're going to talk about the as above, so below scenario of Star Wars as well. The nature, the law of nature, as above, so below. And The Empire Strikes Back, because that is a heavy symbolic movie which needs a lot of parts because there's lots to talk about. There's lots going on in the story and the names and the title. Okay, so we're going to start off. Part one is going to be Luke and Darth Vader. Okay, the two main characters. Okay, the main characters in every story. Oh, the greatest story ever told had two major characters in it. Okay, and I'm going to prove to you how it's all based on nature. Okay, what happens above us also happens down here below the above. Okay, it's a law of nature, as above, so below. And to quote Jordan Maxwell, George Lucas is a lot of things, but stupid is not one of those things. Stupid is not one of them, okay? And I'm going to prove that to you here. Okay, so Luke. Luke comes from Lucius or Lucas, George Lucas, which Lucas is some form of illumination, which is quite simply light. Which makes sense, right? Because in Star Wars you have the light side and you have the dark side. He's telling this on many levels. This story has many layers to it, just like an onion or a cabbage or human skin. Many layers to this story. We're just going to touch on the two main characters today in this episode. Okay, so we have light. Okay, and what's Luke's last name but Skywalker? Now you're going to have to use some logic here, okay? And think for yourself on this one and use history, okay? Skywalker. Well, we have light. That's the first part of the problem is solved right here. So what is a light Skywalker? What walks across the sky that gives us light if it's not the sun? Okay? He is the sun. We're talking about the sun. The sun. And I'll prove that to you. Because in Egyptian times, you'll know from my other videos, in Egypt, a Skywalker, well, there was 12 steps. 12 walkings, 12 steps of Horus. Okay? And if we translated the 12 steps of Horus into common English, you would say 12 hours of light or day. There's 12 hours in a day. That's how you would translate 12 steps of Horus in English. Okay? Into common English. Alright? So, if Luke Skywalker is anything in nature, he is the sun in its glory. Okay? Luke is the sun. Luke. Alright, so Luke is the sun. Then you have this other figure, this Dark or Darth Vader. So I gave it away already. Darth is dark, and Vader has its origins in Dutch and German, and it means father. And you can do your own homework on this one. I've done mine, and this is what I came up with. Father, dark father. Okay, well, yeah, if Luke is the sun, and Luke has got 12 hours a day, okay, then what's the opposite? Well, 12 hours a night. Darth Vader represents the night, Luke represents the day. The oldest story ever told, because it's the only story ever told. Okay? Just like the Bible. It's the only story ever told. 12 hours of light, 12 hours of night. Okay? So not only is Lucas telling us the nature of things, he's telling us, well, look, there's 12 hours of light, 12 hours of night. Okay? It's as above. That's the as above story. There's also the below story that's happening as well. Okay? So as above, the story is 12 hours of light and 12 hours of night. Okay? That's the as above. So below is as above, so below. Okay? Because above is the ether. Okay? These are the God particles above us. This is the ether. So what happens in the ether, in the universe, happens in its lowest form. Okay? This is the lowest form of God, is what we're experiencing here on this planet. So below. Okay? This is hell. Okay? So below, you have Father and Son. Okay? Father and the S-O-N. The Father and the Son. Well, you find that story in the Bible as well. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, right? Well, you have the Father and the Son and the Force in Star Wars. Okay? Same story, only story ever told. Oldest story ever told. Okay, so below you got the Father and the Son. As above, you got the Sun, the S-U-N, 12 hours of sunlight. And you have night, which could be represented by the moon, okay, or Saturn, or whatever you want, because of how symbolic Darth Vader is. Okay, Darth Vader is heavily symbolic. We'll get into that in part 2, the symbology of Darth Vader. Huge. So 12 hours of the sun and 12 hours of night. Boom. As above, so below. To quote Jordan Maxwell one more time, George Lucas is a lot of things, but stupid isn't one of them. Thanks for watching this episode of The Nature of Things, Star Wars Edition Part 1. Part 2 is coming up. Take care of each other.